Good morning, children. Welcome back to our English class. Hope you all are fit and fine. What about your studies, children? Make use of your online classes at its best, children, because we don't have another option to cover the syllabus in this negative situation and to maintain the flow of study. Am I right, children? So take your studies seriously. Okay, let's continue our lesson. Today, I will be explaining you the concluding part of our lesson, The Lost Child. Before entering into the second part, I'll give you the summary of the portion that I taught you in the last class. As I told you, The Lost Child, the story, it's written by Mulk Raj Anand. It's a story of a small child who gets lost in a fair. Here, the story highlights the bond of love and affection that the child shares with his parents. It was the festival of spring. The people of the village came out of their houses in colorful dresses and moved towards the fair. The child was very excited and happy to go with his parents. On the way to the fair, he was attracted to a toy shop. He wanted to have one, but by hearing his demand, his father became very angry. But his mother comforted him and tried to divert his attention towards other things ahead of him. Within a few steps, the child, he again got engrossed in a flowering mustard field, a group of dragonflies, black bees, butterflies, insects, worms, doves, etc. So he forgot about the toys. Okay, now let's move on to a new portion. Let me read the portion. As they neared the village, the child could see many other footpaths full of throngs converging to the whirlpool of the fair, and felt at once repelled and fascinated by the confusion of the world he was entering. A sweet meat seller hawked gulab jamun, rasgulla, burfi, jalebi at the corner of the entrance, and a crowd pressed round his counter at the foot of an architecture of many colored sweets, decorated with the leaves of silver and gold. The child stared open-eyed and his mouth watered for the burfi. That was his favorite sweet. I want that burfi, he slowly murmured. But he half knew as he begged that his plea would not be heeded, because his parents would say he was greedy. So, without waiting for an answer, he moved on. A flower seller hawked a garland of gulmohar, a garland of gulmohar. The child seemed irresistibly drawn. He went towards the basket where the flowers lay heaped and half murmured, I want that garland. But he well knew his parents would refuse to buy him those flowers because they would say that they were cheap. So without waiting for an answer, he moved on. Children, I gave you the meanings in the glossary at the end of the slide. If there is any doubt about the word meanings, you can go through that. So, let's see the explanation. As they were about to reach the fair, the child saw huge crowds of people. Throngs means huge crowds. Footpath full of throngs converging to the whirlpool of the fair. So, throngs means huge crowds. So, as they were about to reach the fair, the child saw huge crowds of people walking from all directions towards the fair. The dense crowd scared him. He was frightened of seeing such a crowd. But the next moment he got attracted to the new world. Which is that new world, children? That fair. At the corner of the entrance, a sweet meat seller had set up a shop. Have you seen the picture? A small sweet meat seller shop. At the corner of the entrance, a sweet meat seller had set up a small shop. He was selling various sweets like gulab jamun, rasgulla, burfi, jalebi and all. The boy's mouth watered when he saw his favorite burfi. Have you seen the picture? He expressed his desire to get one in a low voice. In a low voice means he knew that his plea means his request would not be heeded by his parents. His parents would not pay any attention to his desire. Heeded means paid attention to. So he knew that they would say that he was greedy for the burfi. So what did he do? He walked further without waiting for their reply. Then the next stall. It was a flower seller. The next stall was that of a flower seller. He hogged. What do you mean by hogged? Hogged means said loudly. A garland of gulmohar, a garland of gulmohar. The child wanted one. He moved towards the basket of flowers and half murmured. Half murmured means said in a low voice. See the picture of the flower shop. A flower shop seller hogged a garland of gulmohar, a garland of gulmohar. The child seemed irresistibly drawn. The child wanted one, so he moved towards the basket of flowers and half murmured. Half murmured means said in a low voice, I want that garland. Again, the same condition, he knew that his demand would not be fulfilled. He knew that they would say, it's cheap, it's cheap. So without waiting for an answer, he moved on. Next portion. A man stood holding a pole with a yellow, red, green and purple balloons flying from it. The child was simply carried away by the rainbow, glory of their silken colors, and he was filled with overwhelming desire to possess them all. But he well knew his parents would never buy him the balloons because they would say he was too old to play with such toys. So he walked on farther. A snake charmer stood playing a flute to a snake which coiled itself in a basket, its head raised in a graceful bend like the neck of a swan, while the music stole into its invisible ears like the gentle rippling of an invisible waterfall. The child went towards the snake charmer, but knowing his parents had forbidden him to hear such coarse music as the snake charmer played, he proceeded farther. There was a roundabout in full swing, men, women, and children carried away in a whirling motion, shrieked and cried with a dizzy laughter. The child watched them intently, and then he made a bold request. I want to go on the roundabout. Please, father, mother, I want to go on the roundabout. So the next thing the child came across was a balloon seller. He was selling different colored balloons. The child was attracted to the shiny colors of the balloons and wanted to have them all. He knew his parents would not buy balloons for him. He knew the reason also. They would say, you are too old to play with such toys. So again the boy walked on further. Next, again he paused at a snake charmer who was playing a flute, and the snake was moving or twisting its neck to the music. See the picture of the snake charmer. So again he paused at a snake charmer, and the snake charmer was playing a flute, and the snake was moving or twisting its neck to the music. The snake, it was coiled itself in a basket and raised its head out. It bent and moved its neck gracefully like a swan. Like a swan. Swan is a bird. The boy got tempted to hear the music of the flute. The snake swayed its neck in a way as it heard the gentle sound of an invisible waterfall. Suddenly he remembered that his parents had warned him to stay away from the unpleasant music played by such men. He walked further. Coarse means unpleasant. So suddenly he remembered that his parents had warned him to stay away from such kind of men. Such kind of men means snake charmers. So such men, so he walked further. Again he moved forward. So have you seen the picture of the snake charmer, children? See, here it is. Then there was a roundabout in full swing. Here is the picture of the roundabout. Have you seen it? Okay. Then he saw a roundabout swing. It was full of men and women and children who were enjoying the ride. The boy watched the people on it, and this time he made a bold request. He became a little bit bold enough, and he requested to his parents. What is the request, children? Yes, he said, I want to go on the roundabout. Please, father, I want to go on that roundabout. There was no reply. He turned to look at his parents. They were not there ahead of him. He turned to look on either side, not either, either side. They were not there. He looked behind. There was no sign of them. A full, deep cry rose within his dry throat, and with a sudden jerk of his body, he ran from where he stood, crying in real fear. Mother, father, tears rolled down from his eyes, hot and fierce. His flushed face was convulsed with fear. Convulsed, meaning is there, children, a sudden, violent movement. Panic stricken, he ran to one side first, then to the other, hither and thither in all directions, knowing not where to go. Mother, father, he wailed. His yellow turban came untied and his clothes became muddy. Having run to and fro in a rage of running for a while, he stood defeated, his cries suppressed into sobs. At a little distances on the green grass, he could see, through the filmy eyes, men and women talking. He tried to look intently among the patches of bright yellow clothes, but there was no sign of his father and mother among these people, who seemed to laugh and talk just for the sake of laughing and talking. Okay, so there was no reply. When he requested them, what was his request, children? He requested his parents, I want to go on the roundabout. Please, father, I want to go on the roundabout. But there was no reply. He turned back to look at his parents, but there was no sign of them. He searched them everywhere. So he realized that he was lost in the fire. The boy cried bitterly while running here and there, calling out to his parents, father, mother, father. Hither and thither. Have you seen that word, children? Hither and thither means here and there. So he ran here and there calling out for his parents. He was full of fear and tears and started rolling down on his cheeks. As he cried and ran around, his turban opened and his clothes became muddy. Muddy means soiled. So after some time, his loud cries turned into mild sobs. He ran here and there to check whether they were among the people who were standing, talking and laughing. He ran quickly again, this time to a shrine to which people seemed to be crowding. Every little inch of space here was congested with men, but he ran through people's legs, his little sob lingering, mother, father, near the entrance to the temple. However, the crowd became very thick. Men jostled each other, heavy men with flashing murderous eyes and hefty shoulders. The poor child struggled to thrust a way between their feet, but knocked to and fro by their brutal movements. He might have been trampled underfoot, had he not shrieked at the highest pitch of his voice, Father, mother. A man in the surging crowd heard his cry, and stooping with a great difficulty, lifted him up in his arms. How did you get here, child? Whose baby are you? The man asked as he steered clear of the mass. The child wept more bitterly than ever now and only cried, I want my mother. I want my father. The man tried to soothe him by taking him to the roundabout. Will you have a ride on the horse? He gently asked as he approached the ring. The child's throat tore into 1,000 shrill sobs, and he only shouted, I wanted my mother, I want my mother, I want my father. Okay. Suddenly he ran towards a shrine. He ran towards a shrine means he ran towards a temple. Suddenly he ran towards a temple, and that area was hugely crowded. The people, they were pushing each other. Jostled, the men jostled each other. Jostle means pushed. So the people, they were pushing each other as they neared the entrance of the temple. So the boy ran in between the legs of men, calling out for his parents, father, mother, father. He might have been crushed under the feet of huge strong men. Suddenly, a man lifted him up in his arms and got out of the crowd. Then he asked, "How did you get here, child? Whose baby are you?" But the boy cried bitterly and said, "I want my mother, I want my father." So the man tried to soothe him. Tried to soothe means tried to comfort him. Soothe means comfort. The man tried to comfort him by taking him to the roundabout. He offered him a ride. He asked, "Will you have a ride on the horse?" But the boy shouted loudly, "I want my mother, I want my father." The man headed towards the place where the snake charmer still played on the flute to the swaying cobra. "Listen to that nice music, child," he pleaded. But the child shut his ears with his fingers and shouted his double-pitched strain, "I want my mother, I want my father." The man took him near the balloons, thinking the bright colors of the balloons would distract the child's attention and quieten him. "Would you like a rainbow-colored balloon?" he persuasively asked. The child turned his eyes from the flying balloons and just sobbed, "I want my mother, I want my father." The man, still trying to make the child happy, bore him to the gate where the flower sellers sat. "Look, can you smell those nice flowers, child? Would you like a garland to put round your neck?" "Yes." Thus he moved towards the snake charmer, the same snake charmer. Still he was playing on the flute to the swinging cobra. He said, "Please listen to that nice music, child." The man said, "Please listen to that nice music, child." But the boy repeated his double pitch strain. Have you seen the word, children? Double pitch strain. Double pitched strain means high pitched strain. Strain means two lines or sentences. The boy repeated only two lines, or the boy repeated only two strains. Double pitched strain, he said in a loud voice. The sentences or the two lines are in high volume. Which are they, children? High pitched strain. "I want my mother, I want my father." So again the man started walking on back to the same road which the child had taken. Then he took the child to the balloon seller and the flower seller. He offered him a balloon and a garland of gulmohar also. But the child turned away from them and repeated, "I want my mother, I want my father." Have you seen the picture of the lost child, children? Yes. Finally, the man took him to the sweet meat seller and offered to buy him sweets also. A gift of sweets, the man took him to the counter of a sweet shop. But the child turned away. The child turned his nose away from the basket. Which basket, children? The child turned his nose away from the flower basket and reiterated his soul, "I want my mother, I want my father." Reiterated means repeated. Thinking to humor his disconsolate charge by a gift of sweets, the man took him to the counter of the sweet shop. "What sweets would you like, child?" he asked. The child turned his face from the sweet shop and only sobbed, "I want my mother, I want my father." So finally, as you know, the man took him to the sweet meat seller and offered to buy sweets for him. Still, the boy did not want his favorite burfi. He only wanted his parents. He only wanted his parents. "I want my mother, I want my father." So children, here comes the end of our lesson. It's written by Mulk Raj Anand. Hope you understood the story. Okay, now I have a question for you, children. What did you learn from this story? Or what's the theme of the story? For a child, the love, care, protection, and company of his parents is the most preferred thing. All the other things, toys, sweets, balloons, or any other source of entertainment, become insignificant before him. The child or the boy doesn't want anything at all. Only his parents. "I want my mother, I want my father." So did you get the theme? For a child, the love, care, protection, and company of his parents is the most preferred thing. Once they are lost, it's lost. So, all the other things, toys, sweets, balloons, or any other source of entertainment become insignificant before him. Okay, so that's the end of today's session, children. Don't forget to read the lesson and copy down the notes in your notebook and submit it in the Google Classroom without delay. Thank you.